I have friends who have Instagram. So I'll be like, oh, my friend has sent me something. Let me just look at it quickly. Or someone has messaged me on there. Let me just look at it quickly. Oh, this, I don't know. Let me just use it as a break. Let me look at it quickly. Everything quickly. Everything quickly. I deleted it, and I'm not gonna lie. When I deleted it, I would still go on it. But again, honestly, you realize you don't, this thing that you're doing, my thumb was free. My tongue was free. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Your Will, Not Mine. As always, I hope and pray that the discussion I'm going to have in this video blesses you and encourages you to seek the Lord. When you seek Him, may you find Him. When you find Him, may you know Him. When you know Him, may you love Him. So, welcome. As you can see from the title, we're talking about social media. It's not easy for some of us. And I've had my experience with certain apps, and it's been difficult to kind of like balance it out and manage how I use it and all these things. So I thought it'd be interesting conversation to have on here. And I've spoken to a lot of people, who have had the same struggle or query or questions about social media and how to really, just ensure that you're using it in the right way, or whether you should delete it at all. Some people do need it for work, business, or whatever. So how to actually find the balance to use it, because it can be a great tool. So yeah, let us get into the video. So social media had me, specifically Instagram, had me in a chokehold. Oh my goodness. It was years that I was really struggling. I mean, at first it was fun. Social media was, specifically Instagram, was something that all of my friends use. So I was like, this is fun. Not a problem. It's totally cool. I posted, I would watch other people's stories, the For You page, like all these things. It was great. Until it wasn't. Oh my goodness, I can't count how many times I have found myself scrolling on social media, specifically Instagram, for hours. And whenever I do, I'm just like, oh, this is so unproductive. And there was so many times, I really cannot count how many, but so many times I tried to delete Instagram. I kid you not. I would delete it. Something will happen. I'll be like, no, I need to check it. I just need to check this first, then I'll delete it. Like I need to know this information. I'd go on there. Before you know it, I've had it for another 2 months. And then the same thing happens again. I'm like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? And it was specifically Instagram. No other social media app was like doing it for me. Facebook, not really. Twitter, not really. But to be honest, I have been told this, and I do agree. Most of the like funny memes and funny things that we see on things that I saw on Instagram were from Twitter. So Twitter was kind of where I was at, but that just wasn't it for me. I did have Twitter as well. I also had Snapchat. I didn't really use Snapchat that much. So it was Instagram and me, like this. So it was really, really difficult. And I was like, okay, what can I actually do? And it would be so unproductive, whether it's work, I would end up, staying late at night as well, waking up, struggling to wake up early the next day because I'm simply on Instagram, especially like during school days. And I remember there was a time I was speaking to a friend of mine as well, and she was like, yeah, me too. Well, we're on this together. So I was like, okay, how can I actually like combat this? Because this is just not productive. And at that time, I didn't realize that I didn't need Instagram. Like now I know that. Now I know that. But at that time, I was like, I need to find a balance, And I feel like maybe any of you watching this video as well can also relate to that. Like it's whether you've noticed that maybe your usage of Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever, is a bit too much. There's other productive things that you can be doing with your time. So you're trying to find, you've been thinking, okay, maybe this isn't, I'm struggling to find a way to, kind of just balance it all. Or maybe you've realized, you've seen the signs, you're like, yeah, this is not working. this is really not working, but I don't know how, or I've tried this and it's not working. So hopefully this video is beneficial to you, or if you know someone, share the video as well. First of all, we'll go through the signs and symptoms. You know, some of you might be watching this video like, no, I'm good, I can totally manage it. Okay, very self-controlled, I'm a disciplined man, disciplined woman. Wow, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord bless you. Okay. For others, might not be the case. Also, really check to see that you're really, you're really disciplined as you say you are. Don't be saying that just to, say that. So first sign and symptom of, considering whether the way you're using social media, again, it's anything, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, even Facebook, even YouTube. And I'm on here as well. Isn't that funny? And it's also, I don't know which other social media app there is. What other ones are there apart from those I just mentioned? I'm just trying to think. I can't think of any, but there are others out there. So all of those. So what are the signs that you should be thinking? Maybe this isn't as productive as you're telling yourself. So the first one is, it changes your emotions, and you can even, have certain negative thoughts or negative perspective. I think for me specifically, one of the things that I really struggled with was, I would watch something and I'll scroll through and see different people post, whether it's just about their life. And again, one thing I always did not factor in was the fact that everything that's being posted, it's really not a true reflection of the person's life. It's really just a snippet. We hear this often. I heard it often before, but it didn't click. It didn't click like that. But it really is, because even me myself, I'm not posting myself crying. I'm posting all the good things, okay? And likewise, with social media, everyone's posting all the good things. So it looks like, oh wow, they have a great, happy, joyful type of life. And there's no sad moments, low moments. It's all happy, all cloud nine, that's it. But that's not the case. And what that led me to do is to compare. Oh, this person has done this. And maybe, we're the same age. And, I'm still here. I've never even done that. I've not even done this. I'm not even close to this. Like all these things. And then I'll start feeling, oh, okay, maybe I need to hurry up. I need to hurry up and do this. I need to hurry and do this. But there's no need. There's really no need, because everyone's timing is different and everyone's story is different. Honestly, you don't know where that person has gone through, what that person has gone through to get to that point. Because that story is very different to your own story and to your own journey. Whatever that is an achievement to them, or anything joyful that they're displaying on social media, that's something that God will, present to you at a later date, because there's another, task that He wants to do, another journey that He wants you to take, another person that you need to meet, another place that you need to go to. Understand that your journey is different from the person that you're, watching on social media and admiring their life and all these things. The second thing is being unproductive. So you spending, and again, the people who are in denial, they usually say, oh no, I'm on social media for research. Because honestly, people do use social media for research. People's jobs are on social media, and you need it to maybe look at someone's page, or maybe interact with some customers, or scout for new talent, or different things like that. So it can be used for that, but that is now masked as you're being productive. But really, you've messaged one client, you've reached out to one customer, and for which took 5, 20, maybe 30 minutes. Let me just give you that. And then for the next 4.5 hours, you're just scrolling and preying people. It's not as much as we're trying to, it's really not. It's really not what we're saying it is. I'm saying this because I myself have done that. Not that it was even the case of social media was work for me. It was more of, oh, I just need to, or you know, at that time as well. I mean, even now, I have friends who have Instagram, so I'll be like, oh, my friend has sent me something. Let me just look at it quickly, or someone has messaged me on there. Let me just look at it quickly. Oh, this, I don't know. Let me just use it as a break. Let me look at it quickly. Everything quickly. Everything quickly. You know that SpongeBob meme. Few hours later. Yeah, that was me times 5. Yeah, it was really bad. And if that's the same case for you, then maybe you should start considering reducing, you know, your usage of whichever app that is. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. I haven't seen like the full story, but I've just seen like shorts on YouTube, or heard people talk about how there's some influencers who, you know, have portrayed a certain life um, of themselves, but then behind closed doors, it's like very, very different, like completely different. And I think, maybe I should even talk about this. I don't know the full story, but there have been some influencers, you know, who have portrayed themselves to have a certain type of lifestyle, and then something happened and they couldn't keep up with it, and it kind of revealed later on that, you know, that's not really who they are, and that's not the life that, you know, they live day to day. And these are people that people, you know, they have huge following. The people in their comment section will say, oh my goodness, I love this, I love that, oh my gosh, I wish I could be like you, all these things. And only for you to come and find out that that's not really their story, that's not really their real life. So it's just something to note. And again, remember, like I said before, that what you are seeing is really either a fraction, you know, a small fraction of their life, or really a fabricated area of their life, you know, something that is never real. They've just, you know, done an act for it. And even me myself, as I'm doing YouTube now, I need to be very cautious about how what I put out there, how I put it out there, to ensure that there's no pretense at all. Because another a hard thing as well doing this is that if you do a certain way and it's received well, you might feel compelled to now continue doing a certain way. And it can even apply to day-to-day life, even off social media. If, you know, you've presented yourself, because maybe, I don't know if it was even by accident or intentional, to receive a certain level of appraisal or attention, you've done it in a certain way to receive that, and it's working, you feel now compelled to do that same thing again. So authenticity is so important with, you know, how you present yourself. And also remember that what you're watching, you don't want to be like that person. You can be inspired by that person, but to now be like the person is just not okay. So in terms of solution, like I said before, I had tried many things, many a times. I don't know if that's the right English, but I tried many things. I tried deleting it. That was the first one that I actually did, because I was like, okay, out of sight, out of mind, but it was not out of mind. It was still in my mind, even though it was out of sight. And I was very quick to just to download it again. If someone has said, oh, I sent you this on Instagram, just check quickly. I'm like, okay. So that was the first thing. That was the first thing that I tried to do. So that's the first option. That can work for some people. So the first one is really cold turkey. Cold turkey. Like, you just delete it and you're like, nope, never do it again. Some people it can really work for. Like I said, it didn't work for me, but it can work for other people, that you're just like, nope, that's it. You uninstall it from everywhere, phone, laptop, iPad. That's one way. And maybe that could even work for someone who wasn't as interactive on social media, or maybe they don't have people who also use it as well. So that's a good reason. Like, if not a lot of your friends are on there, or a lot of the people that you interact with are on there, or if you don't need it for business, then, or for work, then, you know, there's no need. You can do it. You can try it as well. So that's one way. Another way is to do it in moderation. this was my next step. Okay. So I would delete it for many times. So for example, I would delete it for a week, right? I'll delete it for a week and then I'll download it again. And I'll say, okay, maybe I'll just do it. I'll just go on social media for an hour as a break or something, That wouldn't work because I'll go on the break and then instead of the break being 15 minutes, it became 45 or an hour, So the moderation did not work for me. Again, that's something that you could try if you haven't already. Do it in moderation. See if that works for you. And again, self-control is so important. Like discipline. Okay, you're doing this for this amount of time and then you move on. You do something else. Next thing is accountability partner. This is where it started to work a little bit. As I told my sister, I was like, okay, no, this thing, she already knew already that social media, Instagram specifically, we're fighting. So I told her, I was like, okay, I'm not going on it anymore. So I told her, I was like, okay, I'm going to delete it. I'm not going to go on it anymore. Should be fine. Unfortunately, what I did was I downloaded it again, but still not tell her. So that's one thing about accountability partners. You need to be open with them to actually let them know. Maybe, what could work is if you both have access to the account so they can maybe see when you do log in so that they're aware of, your progress or lack thereof. So that's another thing that I tried that maybe you could try if you haven't already. And if that one still isn't working, next thing that I tried then was app restrictions or phone timers. So I would put, a timer on the app or the phone that I have. There will be like a timer at a certain time. Most of the like social media apps will just close down completely. And that again would help for some time. Or there would be, I tried to find, someone had told me, or maybe I'd heard somewhere that there's another app that you can install that which restricts certain apps. And then, in the time of your temptation, if you want to actually open it, you then have to solve like a puzzle or something to then, unlock it. I couldn't find that, but that sounds really good. I don't know if anyone has that. Maybe comment down below, let us know. But I didn't find that, but that would have been a good one. But the one that I found was just from a certain time, from I don't know, from when you wake up to after you finish work. So when you finish work, you can, restrict it for the whole day. And then maybe in the evening you can do that. Or whenever you think you're more vulnerable, more susceptible to actually go on it, that's when you can, restrict it. For me, I know it's definitely around in the evening when, I'm relaxed. I'm not as busy. I could do it in the evening as I'm laying in bed. And then before I know it, I've stayed on for too long. So that's another one. That's another good one. App restrictions or timers on the actual apps. And then another one is you can include this as well with all the other options that I've listed, is to kind of replace it with something productive. You can replace it with a hobby that you have, whether it's you can replace it with a hobby that you have. It could be, a sport that you're into. It could be reading. It could be a new skill, a new hobby, or hang out with friends or whatever. Like, just try to replace that. The thing that you do, the time that you would spend, scrolling or looking at the social media or whatever, try to replace that with something else, something more productive. And what I did, what did I do actually? I think I started with reading, and then I think at that time I'll probably do my homework or do more homework. At that time I'll do more assignments or do more revision or something like that. Or call a friend. So something like that, anything that works, but try to just replace that time. So instead of you just sitting still and be like, okay, I'm not going to go in it, I'm not going to go in it, I'm not going to go in it. Try to replace that and be more productive with that time. So those are the options. And again, I kind of went through all of those. Again, if any of you watching this now, you haven't tried those, try it. It could work, might not. I tried it, it worked for a short time, but it didn't work eventually. And I think, honestly, when I was able to when I could see some progress that I wasn't using it as much, is when I actually was able to include God in it. Because this whole time I was trying to do it by myself. I was like, okay, no, I know this is unproductive. I know this isn't useful. Let me just figure out my way. So all the things I listed, I mean, they're practical, they're helpful, yes, but I wasn't really including God in it. And some people have used those ways and it's worked for them, without them being religious or anything. But for me, it's something that I try to always do. Anything that I do, I strive to include God in it. And what I did was I was simply honest. I was a little bit embarrassed. I was like, come on, there's more important things to pray about than to pray about, oh Lord, please help me with this issue. But really it's not. God actually cares about what we care about. He knows our heart's desires. He knows all the things that we're going through, and he really wants that relationship. And whoever that you're closest to, and that you trust the most, you're usually most open with them, and he wants that with us. So I was open. My prayer was that, Lord, I'm struggling with this thing. Please, can you help me? And what I realized was that honestly, self-control is one of the fruits of the spirit. So if this is something that I'm struggling to control, if this is one of the things I'm struggling to discipline myself in, the Bible says that that's actually a fruit of the spirit. So I need to include God in that. And, self-control is one of the fruits of the spirit. Like I said, in Galatians 5, it lists self-control as well. So I need to include God in it instead of just trying to do it by myself. And one of the other verses that I found that really helps me was James 1 verse 5. And it says, if you need wisdom, ask our generous God and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. So he's actually, he's simply waiting for us to speak to him. He's waiting for us to open up and be vulnerable with him. And like the verse says, he's willing to help. He's willing to help. I think what the devil tries to do, what the devil has successfully done in the past, I've seen that in my life and other people's lives as well, is that one way he can actually deter us or prevent us from drawing closer to God is through shame, or fear or embarrassment. We're thinking in our heads, a voice will come and say, oh, that's not important. Oh gosh, you've messed up again. And you go back to God, he's very disappointed in you. No, that is the critical point. That is the critical point that you should even draw closer to him instead of further away. Because from there, then you're going back and back and back. And then before you know it, it's been months or years that you've never been actually, spent time with God because of that initial, shame that you felt. But again, God is a loving God. He understands, he forgives, he has mercy. His mercy is new every morning, honestly. So if we simply just need to ask. So that's something that helped me. I think also I was able to kind of like distinguish between the types of social media users. So there are ones who are like the posters, the people who actually post a lot and don't necessarily need to be influencers, but they post a lot, or not even a lot, but they're usually like the ones on social media who post, whether it's Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all these things. And then the lookers, the ones who are, just praying. That was me. I really posted, honestly. I was on Instagram. As much as I was on Instagram, as much as my screen time would have been 5, 6, that it sounds bad, but it's even true. Let me speak the truth and shame the devil. It was high. It was 5, 6 hours. I didn't post a thing. I did not post a thing. I was on the For You page. I'll look at this person's page and I'll be like, oh, let me look at this person. Okay, look at this person. Oh wait, they were also here. Okay, let me look here. Oh, there's this thing that they tagged. Okay, look here. Until hours have passed, I don't understand what's happened. So that's the second type of social media user. And there's just some verses that I picked out just to you can use during your prayers and just encourage yourself as well. And something that the Bible is actually speaking to us specifically, these two people, the posters and the lookers and the prayers. First one is 2 Corinthians 10:12, and it says, this is I think the NLT version. It says, oh, don't worry, we wouldn't dare say that we are as wonderful as these other men who tell you how important they are, but they are only comparing themselves with others, using themselves as the standard of measurement. How ignorant. Another version says, those who compare themselves with themselves are fools. I think that's the common translation. And the second verse is Galatians 6 verse 4, and it says, Pay careful attention to your own works, for then you will get the satisfaction of a job well done. You won't need to compare yourself with anyone else, for we are each responsible for our own conduct. So the people who, and like as I said before, the people who, when they post or when they've done a certain thing and it receives great attention, they feel a certain obligation to continue it. But what these verses are saying is that you shouldn't really focus on the responses of other people. You shouldn't be comparing and saying, oh, all these other people or the other people who also post like this, or I need to keep up. If you're thinking that you need to keep up with them, the Bible is saying that you shouldn't be doing that. That's not necessary at all. Focus on your own achievement. Focus on what you can do. What's that? Is it a proverb? Cut your cloth according to your. I don't remember. I remember saying. I feel like when I finish recording, I'm gonna remember it, and it's gonna be so annoying. But something about cutting your coat according to your cloth, something like that. You know what I mean? But that verse, it's literally what you have, the resources that you have. Use those. Don't not go and break your back and use extra, and then you're struggling in the end. So that's those are the two verses for the people who post and they feel the pressure. The verses are saying you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're looking too much at what other people are doing. That's why you're feeling that pressure. That's why you're feeling that obligation to do all these things. But God is saying, no, that's not who your competition is or who you need to focus on. Focus on me. I will direct you. So this verse is not now for the people who are they're not posting, they don't post at all. They're just looking, they're just watching what's happening, So the first verse is Galatians 1 verse 10, and it says, For am I now seeking the approval of men or of God? Or am I trying to please men? If I was still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. And the second one is Romans 12 verse 2. It says, Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So as the people who are looking and, spending so much time comparing themselves, putting themselves under pressure by saying, oh, I need to be at this level, I need to get this, I need to have this, all these things. God is saying here that shouldn't be, again, similar to, the first one, but that shouldn't be your focus. And even, again, with Galatians 1:10 is saying that if you're trying to please men, you cannot please men and please God. It's like the verse that says, you can't have two masters. You have to love one and then hate the other. You can't say, oh, okay, you follow, you'll be obedient to both man and God. No, you have to choose one. You have to choose one. And if you please one, you won't be able to please the other one. That's what the verse is saying. So as you're spending your time looking and, it's not making you feel good as well. You're feeling this pressure, you're feeling this, oh, I'm delayed, or, oh, I need to get this and all these things. But God is saying you're looking at the wrong thing. Look at me. When you look at me, you'll know what to do. And then, this second verse says that when you renew your mind, you will then discern. You'll be able to actually discern and know, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what God wants me to do, as opposed to what man wants me to do. You'll know what is good and what is acceptable and what is perfect. Because maybe what man wants you to do is bad, is unacceptable, and is imperfect. So there's a difference with that. So I say this all to say, as much as we are all struggling, or whoever is struggling with, the issue of managing social media and, reducing your time usage and all these things, there's different ways to do it. You can, like I said, go cold turkey, do accountability partner, all these things. Try to include God in it as well, and just be open with Him. And by I myself I myself did that, and to be honest, I did it cold turkey. The time that I actually it started to work. I did it. I decided to, just do it cold turkey again, because I realized, the moderation was not working. Accountability partner was not really working. The restrictions were not really working that much. So what I did, when I decided to go cold turkey again, and I prayed about it, continued to pray about it, I deleted it. And I'm not gonna lie, when I deleted it, I would still go on it. But again, what happened was the time between deleting it and reinstalling it again did increase. And then eventually it was, oh my goodness, I was so happy when I realized at some point that, oh wait, it's been a year that I've not had Instagram. I was like, oh wow, okay, this is really working. And then after that first year, the first year was really difficult. I would say definitely for the first few months, it was like, oh, I'll just dip in, but I would log on like Google, not like the app. And then eventually I was like, okay, maybe I should delete my account. Like, I don't have an account at all. When I deleted the account, I wouldn't really be able to interact with it. I can't go, you can't use the app without an account for a while. So when I did that, I would have to now, create a whole new profile again, a whole new account, and that would take time. So that's one thing that I was like, okay, this will be able to deter me. And from then on, didn't need it. If someone sent anything to me on Instagram, I was like, oh no, sorry, I don't use Instagram anymore. Please send it to me on whatever I use now, WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever, or send me on normal message. So that's what I did. And yeah, like I said, like the first year, I was like, oh my goodness, thank you, Lord, this is really working. And honestly, you realize this thing that you're doing, my thumb was free. My tongue was free. I will say though, another risky thing is that what I've noticed as well is that, okay, when I deleted the Instagram, I now was slowly getting, using another app more, like almost like how I use, Instagram, and that was Facebook. But I was like, okay, Lord, please give me self control, and I've been able to, manage the few social media apps I have now. I still have, Snapchat. I don't use that, only for the, what's it called, the filters, barely. Legally blind, can see barely. I don't know if anyone knows that meme. What else? Facebook again, not as much, and YouTube again, not as much. But it is really tempting, especially with the the short videos. I think that's where they usually had me, where I would stay on for a long time. But again, I've been able to build that muscle now. I have my moments for sure, that I'll stay on a little longer than normal. But again, there's definite progress. So, I hope I'll close the video off now. I hope this has been helpful. And as always, I hope that it draws you closer to God, and that you will seek Him and find Him. When you find Him, you know Him. When you know Him, may you love Him. Okay. Wish you all the best. Hope you're having a great day, and see you in the next video. Bye.
Peace out.